here we are, heading to Nanaimo. Here's Patrick, my one crew member today. We're under Spinnaker. Can't really see it behind there. And we're doing consistently between 7.5 and 8 knots. A little over 8 knots at times. Hey everyone. Well, there was a very brief look at the Spinnaker in action. But what this video is about today is how I set the pole up and what lines are used to operate the pole. The Spinnaker pole that I have is an end-for-end pole, which means it has jaws that open at both ends, and either end of the pole can be attached at the mast. If I know I'm going to be flying the Spinnaker, then I set the pole and all the lines up prior to leaving the dock. You can see I've attached the pole to a ring on the mast, and that ring is on a track that goes up the mast a ways, and it's very similar to the traveler that I have on the cabin top at the bulkhead for my mainsail, with the difference being this track controls the height of the pole at the mast. The pole has two bridles. The bridle on the top side is attached to a line called the topping lift, and that will control the height of the pole at the front end. And the bridle on the bottom side of the pole is attached to a line called the downhaul or foreguy. And what I do here is I attach this snatch block to the downhaul, and then the snatch block is attached to the bridle, and this is what controls the downward force on the pole. So now I'm ready to raise the pole at the mast, and what I've done is I've placed a mark on the mast so that when I have new crew or people that aren't as familiar, it's easy just to tell them the pole gets raised to the mark, and that takes the guesswork out of how high the pole needs to be set. And once I've secured the position of the pole at the mast, now I'll use the topping lift to raise the front end of the pole. And now you can see that bottom bridle a little better attached to the downhaul. Now that the pole is raised, you can see that there's a line running up through the front jaws, and this line's called the guy. The shackle that you can see there would be attached to the bottom corner of the Spinnaker, and there would be a line just like this one running up the other side of the boat called the sheet, and it would be attached to the bottom corner of the Spinnaker at the free-flying end. The guy runs from the front jaws there, along the outside of the life railings, and through a block, and up to the winch. Once the Spinnaker pole is in position, then you can raise the Spinnaker, and that's done by using this halyard here right at the mast. Before I demonstrate how the guy controls the forward and aft movement of the pole, I wanted to give you all a closer look at the downhaul and how it's laid out on the deck, and I'll explain why I like this layout so much. The downhaul on my boat is actually one continuous line, which is why I had to use the snatch block during the setup, and it simply runs down each side of the boat to each side of the cockpit. And here you can see it travels along the other side of the cabin top and ends up in the cockpit on this side. Right now the pole is set forward, And let's say I need to bring it back a little. The first thing I'm going to need to do is release the downhaul, and then I just use the winch to bring the pole back. And you can see how easy this is by having the guy and the downhaul on the same side. I was able to do both jobs easily by myself. Now I'm ready to move the pole forward, and the pressure on the spinnaker sail will want the pole to move forward. So all I have to do is ease off the guy and pull in the downhaul at the same time to keep that downward pressure on the pole. And again, you can see how easy that was to do by having the guy and the downhaul on the same side. Now I've jibed the boat, and to control the pole, I use the winch on the port side of the boat. And this is where you're going to see the benefit of having that single continuous line for the downhaul. You can see as I winch the pole back, I've got complete control of the downhaul from the port side of the boat, just like I had complete control of the downhaul when I was controlling the pole from the starboard side of the boat. If I only had a single line for the downhaul running to the starboard side of the cockpit, then I'd have to control the pole from that winch there on the port side, and then crisscross over to the starboard side to adjust the downhaul, or have another crew member do it for me. But because I have that continuous line, giving me the ability to control the downhaul from either side of the boat, it only takes one crew member to control the pole and to easily adjust the downhaul at the same time, no matter which side of the boat I'm working the pole from. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed the demonstration on the spinnaker pole and all the lines that are used to operate the pole. And I know it may have been a little complicated for people out there that don't have much sailing experience, but for the people that do have the experience and are familiar with spinnakers, hopefully you can see that that downhaul layout is beneficial. And I have to give a big shout out to my friend Tim, who told me to set the downhaul up that way. And we'll see you guys on the next video.